Hi, this is Rocky with Hole-in-One Locating. We are starting our locate series again. That's a blooper. Hell, this whole body is a blooper. But anyways, that doesn't have anything to do with locating. We are starting to train on utility locating, and this is part of a series on how in the hell does this work? So today, I'm going to cover the most basic thing about utility locating, and that is current and a circuit. That is what we locate. We locate current, not frequency, current. And we create a closed circuit. That is the most important thing in utility locating. Now you can see here that I've got an amazing demo set up for you. Notice I did not trip over the wire. Now that, my friends, is amazing. So what I want to show you to start off with is a transmitter. Every locator kit has one. This is your transmitter, and what this transmitter does is it converts a DC signal to an AC. There'll be future videos on what that is. But direct current doesn't really have a pattern that we can follow. AC current alternates back and forth. So this transmitter has converters in it. This switches this from DC to AC. And it also has a series of switches in it that switch the polarity back and forth on the wires. So you see a black wire. Look, this is black. Woohoo! Sesame Street, help me. That's red. So you think, well, red is positive and black is negative. No, it don't matter. That machine is generating an AC current, and it is constantly switching the polarity back. Now I'd like you to zoom in right quick on this machine, and I'd like you to notice that it says 0 milliamps. So we can read our milliamps on this machine and see how things are going. Well, right now things aren't going too good. And the reason is because we haven't created a circuit. A circuit is a circle. The words are pretty similar. Back to 5th grade science. We got one lead here and one lead here. Doesn't matter if one's black or one's red. Some machines don't even do that. But if I touch these together, it's either going to explode and I'm going to look dumb. Possibility, the sun's hoping that happens. Or I'm going to get a milliamp on this machine. So let's go ahead and touch them together here. And now if you'll come look at this machine for us, you'll see that we're getting a huge spike there in milliamps. And this right here is our wattage. So we're only operating at 1 watt now. There's our battery level. So even at 1 watt here, we're producing milliamps because we have closed the circuit. Okay. Clap for me. Now, what we have set up here is a demonstration to make something click in your mind. When we are doing utility locates, we are approaching a utility, and this green wire is going to serve as our utility. And we approach our utility, we'll say it's power, and we find the power meter, or we find an end of it that's safe to clip onto, maybe a light pole ground or something. And we know that it travels wherever it travels, and then somewhere in the earth it is grounded. This tub is my earth, in case you didn't pick up on that. Earth tub. What we do when we are applying a current is we are connecting to that utilities. See how I even instinctively see red and do it? It doesn't matter. So I know now that I'm sending an AC current, right, down the utility, and I know that that utility is grounded somewhere in the earth on the far end. So let's see if we got a milliamp reading. Spoiler, this is going to be a failure. 0. Okay. We don't have a milliamp reading. The reason we don't have a milliamp rating is we haven't completed that circuit, right? So you can see in my box of earth that I have the other end of our utility for demonstration purposes grounded right here. And obviously, if I was to touch the same ground, if we went over here, we would be getting a milliamp reading. Well, duh, Rocky. That's no different than you touching the two ends of the wires together. But what people don't realize is that the earth, although resistant to current, is conductive. If I take a ground rod, and I'm not going to even drive the ground rod, more on that later, and I lay it even horizontally here in the earth, which is the preferred way to do it, is horizontally, that current will travel from that ground rod to that lead. If we go over here, and man, I'm hoping we should have a milliamp reading on this machine. So just as you could take a wire or touch the two leads together to complete that circuit, we're actually using the earth. So the earth is acting as our return path. And you're going to hear that term a lot in locating, return path. The earth acts as our return path. And everything goes from there. So this is the first step in utility locating. First step, we locate current. And everything we do is about closing that circuit, is about creating a circle. And we use the earth to do that. Rewind the video, watch it again, and get your head wrapped around it, right? If I cut this wire, it all goes to hell. If I disconnect this, poof. The electrons, when we do this, are vibrating. But in order to get it to connect, they've got to have a closed circuit. So oftentimes you hear, oh, the electrons are traveling down this path. They're going on a little journey. And then they come down here at our ground rod, and then they come through the earth. Don't ever say that to me. It's bullshit. I hate it. Electrons don't travel. They don't go on a hike. This is a conductive utility. The electrons oscillate. Almost think of it as people standing there together, right? But they've got to be touching the same thing. They have to have something to complete them. You have to complete the circuit, the circle, and you're using the earth to do that. Thank you so much. This is Rocky with Hole in One Locating.